Secretary Kendall, General Allvin, thank you for appearance today. I want to add my congratulations to the brave men and women of the force who were involved in the defense of Israel over the weekend, to include two former Senator Cotton Defense Fellows, Bud and Rowdy. I'm told I'm not supposed to say anything more than that, but I'm glad to see that their skills did not atrophy while they were desk molesters up here for me. Now, it's very important that we not just have our own capabilities, but that we train our foreign partners in capabilities. We can't be everywhere all the time at once. So I want to respond to Senator Warren's questions, General Allvin, about retired flag officers supporting foreign militaries. I have a slightly different perspective. I think it's a great thing when America's retired generals and admirals go overseas, take the skills and the knowledge they've learned, and help train foreign military partners to be more proficient, to be more respectful of the laws of war, to be more professional in their own services. So far from taking steps to restrain retired flag officers serving under contractual relationships with nations like Saudi Arabia, the United Arab Emirates, or emerging nations in Eastern Europe who are recent NATO members, I think we should encourage it. General Allvin, I don't know what you plan to do in retirement. Maybe you plan just to go fishing all the time. But if you want to do that, I think that'd be a great thing for you to do. And this committee carefully considered that matter last year in our markup. And those markups aren't public, so you don't know what happened, but this was a serious debate then. And Senator Warren called one of these measures a loophole. It's not a loophole, it's specifically how we wrote it, because we think it's a good thing for our retired flag officers to be advising partner nations whose militaries may not yet be as skillful or as professional as ours, but whose militaries we should want to be as skillful and professional as ours. So General Allvin, can I get your commitment that we will continue to ensure retired flag officers can in fact work with partner and allied nations?
Yes, Senator, I certainly don't want to wade into how the legislative process works, but I think that those two positions are not necessarily mutually exclusive, which is why we have the approval process. There are only certain nations against which you are disapproved, and those we understand which those are. But there's still, that stopgap requires the approval of the Secretary and Secretary of State in order to do that. So I believe that stopgap, it helps to mitigate your position from Senator Warren's position.
Secretary Kendall, you look like you had something you wanted to add on this question.
Yeah, I just want to say, I think we're talking about apples and oranges here. I think Senator Warren's concerned about, very understandably, pilots who are hired by China, for example, indirectly through.
Let me just stop you there, because we're not talking about apples and oranges. She raised two different topics. I do want to say I am concerned about the second topic she raised, which is the practice of not just American but Western trained pilots, mechanics, maintainers, and others going to work often indirectly through private military contractors for, say, China and South Africa, let's say. And that is something we definitely need to crack down on, and something that we took steps with. Senator Kelly and I have worked on this challenge as well. We need to make sure that all those pilots and those maintainers and mechanics that we have trained are not using their skills that the taxpayers paid for to indirectly or directly help our adversary. So I'm glad to hear that you're counseling all those people as they leave the service to be aware of their obligations. I mean, I frankly think it should be strictly prohibited, if not made a crime, to work for a foreign military like China's. That contrasts to her first point, which is, again, military officers, usually flag officers, sometimes field grades, going to work for friendly nations like Saudi Arabia or Jordan or the United Arab Emirates, some fruits of which we saw over the weekend. So I just want to say, it's good when they go to work for pro-American countries. It's bad when they go to work for anti-American countries. It's pretty simple. I don't see what the complication is here.
Yeah, we don't have any disagreement with that, Senator Cotton.
Thank you. One final point, since we're talking about making sure that foreign partners have strong capabilities, so we don't have to carry the load everywhere. Secretary Kendall, General Allvin, you know that a top priority for Senator Bozeman and for me is the Foreign Military Sales Training Mission at Ebbing Air National Guard Base in Fort Smith, Arkansas. We know that they're still working out a few things in terms of the construction and the airspace. Secretary Kendall, you've committed me in the past on several occasions that you're going to make sure that this stays on time and that we have the Sound of Freedom return to the River Valley later this fall. Can I get your commitment again, given whatever the latest developments are on your end, that is still going to happen on time this fall?
Before I give you a commitment about on time, let me go double check and see exactly where we are. I know we're moving forward on this, and I haven't had any reports that we're just flipping schedule, but let me check it.
I haven't
and get
either,
back
but
to
you never know when you're dealing with the real world of building this thing or moving that thing. I just don't want to have not dealing with the real world, but the bureaucratic world of red tape. So I just want to make sure that you've got a sword over the Gordian knot, you're ready to cut if you have to.
We will do whatever we can to stay on schedule, absolutely.
you.
Thank you, Senator Cotton. Senator